guys, if you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Okay, guys, it's Friday, July 5th, and hopefully you all survived July 4th. And most of you are probably off today, or we're off today. And those of you that are retired, you're always off, although most of the retired people that I know are busier than they were when they were working. So anyway. Now, I don't know about you. I was a little bit disappointed because I was expecting a big announcement, and many people were thinking, just like I was thinking, that JFK was going to be revealed. Has made me kind of question all of that, and yet there's so much proof. So it's hard to know. Now, some people are saying that there was a big announcement, so to speak. So we'll get to that, and I'll let you decide. Now, I know I'm getting a late start tonight, and I apologize. It's just one of those things. I could not avoid it today. But yesterday, I had meant to do a show, but by the time I got home just in time to hear Trump's speech. And so I listened to that, and then by the time I wanted to hear the fireworks, because I didn't know if it was going to be announced then, and by the time I had listened to all that, I was too tired to do a show. So anyway, I'm bringing one to you now, and I've probably got enough stuff here for 3 shows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get through as much as I can tonight, and tomorrow, hopefully I'll be able to do 2 shows tomorrow, and they'll probably be much earlier than tonight. So let's get started here because we've got a ton of stuff. There's no Q posts, but we are going to go through a lot of interesting things. Now, the first thing I wanted to bring up is this. I saw this on Twitter. Jeb Bush said, 3 presidents die on July 4th. Just a coincidence? Now, I don't know about you, but I took that as a threat. Jeb Bush is letting Trump know, I believe, that, well, gee, 3 previous presidents have died on July 4th. Maybe there's going to be a 4th president die on July 4th. And I think if they could have pulled that off, they would have liked to, because we know that he is in danger always. And I noticed that he was standing behind a bulletproof glass, he and Melania, and I was thankful for that, because you don't know. I mean, hopefully they screen for weapons when you're coming in, but I don't know. It's possible that someone could have a weapon and want to take a pot shot. And even though the Secret Service are right there, when there's a crowd that large, it's hard to keep your eye on everyone. So they obviously did a good job. The president was safe, and everything went off without a hitch as far as we could see. It was a wonderful dedication that he did to the military, and his detractors said, oh, he's going to make it all about himself, and this is going to be political, and there was none of that, not a word of that. He didn't mention himself at all. So, now, of course, nothing will make them happy. It's never going to be all right with them. They're going to find something to complain about. They also said that no one would show up. Did you see the crowds? Seriously. The biggest crowd I've ever seen in Washington anyway. It was unbelievable. There had to have been more people there than were there for his inauguration. It blew me away, the size of the crowds and the fireworks display. Quite honestly, I mean, I think if I was there, I would have just had goosebumps and been in awe, because even just watching it, I was like, I can't believe this. My mouth was hanging open, and just with the music and all the visual things going on, it was just incredible. So I would have loved to have been there, and maybe for the next 4th of July, I'll be able to be there. That would be wonderful. Okay, so, let's go on from Jeb Bush. low energy Jeb. Yeah, and don't you think it's interesting that we haven't heard anything from George Bush Jr.? Don't you think that's a little odd? Don't you think he'd be doing something? He'd be tweeting something, or he'd be saying happy 4th of July. Nothing. We have not heard from him since the funeral. And I happen to believe he was arrested that day. I could be wrong, but I could be right. So I don't know. All right, let's go on here. And this is interesting. Of course, it's all interesting. Crooked Hillary Clinton no longer keynote speaker at cybersecurity conference. Yeah. FireEye announced in May that Hillary Clinton would be a keynote speaker at their Cyber Defense Summit this fall. We're pleased to announce that former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton will be featured keynote speaker at our FireEye Summit in October. Secretary Clinton will engage in an intimate question and answer keynote discussion with Kevin Mandia, FireEye tweeted on Thursday. And this is the poster for the summit. And it does list her as the guest keynote speaker. Guest keynote, former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton, says register now, Cyber Defense Summit 2019, Empowering Defenders Together, Washington, D.C., training October 7th to 8th, conference October 9th to 10th. Well, I wonder what's come up that she's not able to make it. We are pleased to announce that, I just read that. I don't need to read it again. Of course, Hillary Clinton was probably the most careless politician in history with U.S. classified documents. Well, that's an understatement. Yeah. Cybersecurity is not one of defenders' responsibility, but a global effort, a cause championed by many for the good of all. By coming together as a community to innovate, build strategies, and share knowledge on today's threats and tomorrow's risks, we empower ourselves as defenders with the collective wisdom to protect our way of life and the technologies that have become central to it, FireEye asserts on its website. Earlier this week, conservative watchdog group Judicial Watch announced that John Hackett, the former director for information programs and services at the State Department, testified under oath that he voiced concern over how Hillary Clinton's staff had culled over 30,000 of her personal emails. Hackett's testimony suggests that Hillary Clinton's Benghazi emails were actually underclassified in order to shield Hillary and to mislead Congress and the public. On Thursday, FireEye announced that Hillary would no longer be their keynote speaker. Nate Kane was the first to report on this. And here is Nate Kane. I am laughing my butt off right now after receiving this email from FireEye. Apparently, Hillary Clinton will no longer be the keynote speaker for one of the largest cybersecurity conferences in Washington, D.C. LOL. I must have looked at their comment section. I don't know what he means by that, but anyway, I think that's interesting. And asking the Hildebeest to be a keynote speaker at a cybersecurity conference would be akin to asking a child molester to run a daycare center. And nope, not tired of winning in the least. So I just thought that was interesting. Did they pull her, or did she say, no, I'm not going to be available to do this? I don't know. We don't know that. But I just think it's interesting nonetheless. Maybe she won't be here in the fall. Maybe she'll be arrested. I know. I'm giving up hope too. I'm keeping myself going and trying to keep myself encouraged, but I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little bit disappointed because I expected something to happen by now. But I do realize this is a massive operation and things have to be done in order, and one thing depends on the next, and if there's a delay in one, it delays everything. So there you go. I wanted to bring that up, though. Not literally bring it up, because just bring it up. Never mind. I'm a little weird today. I don't know what happened. Okay, hang on here. All right. And this is, they're bringing up the same thing. Has, I think, the same information on it about, it says 3 presidents die on July 4th, just a coincidence. And it goes through the fact that 3 of them died. And this is actually what Jeb Bush had linked to, but we're not going to go through it because it's really not applicable to us right now. 3 presidents died on July 4th. It is weird, but I'm just really glad there wasn't a 4th president die, because the country would erupt in civil war. There's no doubt in my mind, because every single Trump supporter would know it was caused by the deep state. All right, let's go back now. Lots to get to. Okay, and this from Major General Paul Eaton. Yeah, someone was feeling like this was a threat as well, and I don't know. I'll read it to you and let you know, let you decide, and you can let me know in the comments below. It was my great privilege to serve 7 years as a general. At Real Donald Trump says generals are thrilled with his appalling plan for Independence Day. More Trump fiction. Generals speak softly and carry a big stick. They never thrill and should not stand near Trump tomorrow. Now, why wouldn't they want to stand near Trump? Well, I think this is interesting, and it makes me wonder if they had planned for that bulletproof glass to be there, or if in response to these threats, and to me, I don't know, if it were me and somebody was saying that to me, if I was president, which, will never happen, for more reasons than one. But anyway, if someone was saying that about me, I would take that as a threat. And so did they put up the bulletproof glass because of the threats, or had that been planned all the time? It would be interesting to know. All right. And then this happened yesterday. Breaking: preliminary magnitude 6.6 earthquake has jolted Southern California. It struck about 11 miles northeast of Ridge Crest at 10:33 a.m. per USGS. And there's some interesting things about this earthquake. So now, of course, we are expecting, the Cascadia Fault. There's been a lot of activity along it and so forth, but there was something odd about this earthquake, something really odd, and we're going to get into that. Now, this is the first thing that struck me. This struck within the sprawling Naval Air Warfare Center, Weapons Division at China Lake, where a desert test range is located. So was this a natural earthquake, or was this a caused earthquake? I don't believe, personally, I'm not asking you to believe this, but I don't personally believe that it was a natural earthquake. And we will get to more of that a little later. Now, and Trump, I found this interesting too, been fully briefed on earthquake in Southern California. All seems to be very much under control. That's an odd thing to say in response to an earthquake. Everything seems under control. Well, how can he predict that? How does he know that everything's under control? How does he know that wasn't a foreshock at that time? This was the 4th of July, and this was just 2 hours after the earthquake. And I'm sure he was fully briefed on it, but I think he knows what it was. Because otherwise, you can't say, oh, everything's fine, nothing to worry about, everything's under control. He doesn't know. There hadn't even been reports in yet. And he doesn't know if that's a foreshock. He doesn't know if that there's going to be aftershocks, which it seems like there were more than one earthquake. There was more than one earthquake, and I think probably this earthquake triggered more. But anyway, I'm just bringing this all to you, and you can make up your own mind, and we are going to get into a little bit more of this in a bit. Now, I like this by Mark Simone. Alec Baldwin can appear on network television every week and make fun of President Trump. No problem. An 8-year-old girl appears on the internet making fun of AOC, and liberals have silenced her by threatening to kill her. What is wrong with these people? Seriously, what is wrong with them? They do not have normal functioning brains. I'm telling you, this is not normal. An 8-year-old does an impression of someone, and your first inclination is, oh, I'm going to threaten to kill her. And you know what? If someone had, they would have said she deserved it. They would have. You know I'm right. Mini AOC ends parody videos after receiving death threats, harassment. The 8-year-old child actor who went viral for impersonating Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is no longer going to make videos due to death threats. Death threats. Yeah. Talk about being a poor sport. I mean, look at everything that Trump has to endure. But, oh, don't say anything to AOC. Unbelievable. All right. Now, this show, we're going to get into a lot of conjecture, okay? I'm not saying that you have to believe what I believe. I'm just bringing it to you. I will tell you my opinion, but, my opinion does not make it so. All right. Now it says 2 down, 1 to go. First London, now DC. POTUS signals hidden empire that America is now truly free. Now they're saying, because I guess Q was saying, I don't know where they got this, that there's 3 major players in the world. There's London, which is the financial capital. There's Washington, D.C., which is the military capital. And then there's the Vatican, which is the religious empire. And that they needed to take, I don't know. I don't know where they're getting this, but anyway, was watching, this comes from the Vote channel, The Great Awakening. So was sitting watching the news last night about the Independence Day military parade when a thought came to me. I remembered watching a Serial Brain 2 decode about President Trump's visit to London and how the Queen was wearing green during POTUS visit, and what Serial Brain 2 believed it signified. According to Serial Brain 2's decode, the Queen was wearing green meant the UK surrendered their control and power over to the United States. Serial Brain 2, UK riddle solved. On YouTube. Solution at 1433. London equals financial. First part of the three-sided evil, the evil 3-sided cabal taken out. Then the thought of the military parade hit me. The District of Columbia is the second side. The military side of the hidden empire is the parade in D.C. on American Independence Day to show the satanic world elites that D.C. and the rest of the United States is now under American control and free from the cabal. Now, that does make some sense to me. Because I've heard that said that when they went to UK, it was symbolic of, the ties being cut. I don't know. Serial Brain 2, I think, is amazing. Very, very intelligent. I don't know. His decodes are above me. But he's been wrong on things as well. He's been wrong before. He has. So I don't know. I think it makes sense that Trump was signaling that, look, this is under American control now. The military is under American control. That makes sense to me. If it makes sense to you, say so in the comments below, or if you have another idea, say so. We help one another understand, because a lot of times you bring up things that I haven't thought about, and I think, yeah, I need to rethink that. And, that's great. I don't expect everyone to agree with me, because I learn more when you don't. So yeah, we're all here for one another. We all learn from one another. So, and here, POTUS tweets about 4th of July at Lincoln Memorial with error uses Aircraft One instead of Air Force One. I did notice that. Coded message, liberation from the cabal. That's, I don't know. At 7:47:22 a.m., POTUS posts his two-part tweet about today's 4th of July events on the mall. People are coming from far and wide to join us today and tonight for what is turning out to be one of the biggest celebrations in the history of our country. Salute to America. An all-day event at the Lincoln Memorial culminating with large-scale flyovers of the most modern and advanced aircraft anywhere in the world. Perhaps even Aircraft One will do a low and loud sprint over the crowd. That will start at 6 p.m., but be there early. Then at 9 p.m., a great, to put it mildly, fireworks display. I will speak on behalf of our great country. We know to pay attention when POTUS makes an error in his tweets, and that is true. At 8:41:57 a.m., POTUS posts the correction, changing Aircraft One to Air Force One. Let's evaluate the erroneous word aircraft. The gematria of aircraft equals 76. Also 76, Barack H. Obama. Hidden fate. Pain real. In addition, we find the plan. Red pill. Liberated. Heal America. The time difference between the tweets equals 54 minutes, which leads us to Q post 54, which says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future," and that is taken from Jeremiah in the Bible. So is POTUS telling us our liberation from Hussein and the cabal is soon? What a great Independence Day. I don't know. To me, that seems a little out there, but it's possible. It's possible. I mean, I don't want to get off into tinfoil hat material, but it's possible. I think he was sending a message, and I don't have too much difficulty believing that he was sending a message that this is all in our control. The cabal does not have control of the military. We have freed the military, and he did the salute to them, and it could be. It could be. Now, this from I, the Spy, and this person has a very strong history of being correct. So I do tend to pay attention, but again, I don't take anything as the gospel truth. Ultimately, these are people's opinions. And so if it makes sense, it makes sense. But I'll tell you, I think this person has inside information. I really do believe that, because they've been right too many times. I, the Spy, said there was never an emergency meeting at the White House. This is sensationalized news from the mainstream media. Meetings were called globally about the Russian sub incident and the Iranian uranium enrichment program, which has become a global crisis waiting to happen. Always remain calm. Now, I don't have problems believing that whatsoever, that it was over the Russian sub incident and the Iranian, and I had stated as much in my last video, which was not last night, but the night before. Ask and receive. This from I, the Spy as well, said the Losharik is a small nuclear research submarine, but it is currently being hosted by a larger nuclear sub. I believe it is the BS-64. There's no hope that I can pronounce this word, but anyway, which, according to my intelligence, was the original source of the fire, meaning this was probably not accidental. And I think that we all, pretty much know that it wasn't accidental. It was definitely intentional. Now, and then this person replies and says, whoa, plural, meaning, yeah, there was two submarines. All right, now this from I, the Spy as well, come down to here. From sinking Russian spy subs that are leaking nuclear fuel, kindly stop denying this, Russia, we can see it, to the mainstream media final anti-American push in trying to get people to literally boycott the 4th of July. Has the deep state ever been more exposed? It's coming. Be ready. Well, I wish it was here already. All right. Now, I'm going to leave this for now, and I'm going to come down to here because it's related. Statement from Secret Service on flag. Oh, no, it's not related. I'm sorry. So we'll just take the next one that comes here. And there has been a plane crash in the Bahamas. Billionaire Chris Klein among 7 dead in Bahamas helicopter crash. And we know what Q has said, 7 out of 10 aircraft plane crashes are not accidental, meaning they are done on purpose by someone. So coal tycoon Chris Klein and 6 others were killed on Thursday morning when their helicopter crashed near an island in the Bahamas. Local and U.S. officials say it happened on the eve of the billionaire's 61st birthday. The Royal Bahamas Police Force said it was notified at 2:53 p.m. on Thursday that a helicopter had failed to arrive at its destination in Florida. The aircraft had taken off from Big Grand Cay, one of the northernmost islands in the Bahamas, at around 2 p.m. After a 3-hour search, officers found the chopper overturned in shallow waters of the Atlantic Ocean, about 2 miles off Grand Cay Island. The bodies of 4 females and 3 males were retrieved from the aircraft. Police spokesman said friends identified one of the victims as Chris Klein, while the Register-Herald newspaper in his home state, West Virginia, said one of Klein's daughters was also on board. The identities of the other 5 victims were not immediately known. But police described all of them as American citizens. The helicopter was headed to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, because one of the passengers was ill, according to the Register-Herald. The cause of Thursday's crash was not immediately known. Today, we lost a superstar, and I lost a very close friend. Our families go back to the beginning of the Klein Empire, Pioneer Fuel. West Virginia Governor Jim Justice said, Chris Klein built an empire and on every occasion was always there to give. What a wonderful, loving, and giving man. Justice added, Kathy and I are praying for his family and all those involved in this tragedy. Now, a native of southern West Virginia, Klein started working as an underground coal miner at the age of 22, according to his biography at Foresight Energy. He quickly moved into management and became well known for running low-cost mining operations, which caught the attention of major coal companies. Now, I don't want to go into his background, but the reason why this is interesting, now, I read on one site that he was a huge Trump supporter and had given lots of money to his campaign. But in another place, I didn't hear Trump mentioned, and it said that he was a huge donor to the Bushes. So I don't know. Is he a Trump? Was he a large donor? I don't believe this was an accident because he's a high-profile person. And I don't know what is behind this. And if any of you guys have heard any additional information, please let me know because I am actively trying to find out information on this. And there's a connection somewhere. Either he knows something that got him killed or he's giving tons of money to, he's a multi-billionaire. So, and from what I heard, he had been giving a lot of money to the Trump campaign. So that could have got him killed as well. I don't know. But if any of you guys hear any information on this, please let me know because there's something not right about this at all. All right. And this statement from the Secret Service on flag burning arrests, and I'm sure you saw that if you were watching last night. If you were watching live, some yahoos decided that they were going to burn an American flag So at approximately 5:30 p.m. today, U.S. Secret Service uniformed division officers responded to an incident that occurred on Pennsylvania Avenue involving an individual who was burning an American flag outside the limits of a permit that had been issued by the National Park Service. Two individuals were arrested, one for felony assault on a police officer and malicious burning, and the other for obstructing a police investigation and resisting arrest. One individual was transported to a local hospital for minor injuries, and the other was transported to MPD, 2nd District, for processing. Two officers with the Secret Service Uniform Division received minor injuries while attempting to make arrests and were transported. Oh, there's the tail. Well, not quite, but it's going to be there. There it is. There it is. Okay. Oh, Sammy. Pardon me, Sammy. Are you the cat that ate my new shoes? Yes, you are. You are the cat that ate my new shoes. Yes, he is. I'm trying to replace the shoes that Sammy chewed, and I keep them well out of reach, but I missed a pair, and I had not even worn them yet, and they are... Well, you should see them. It looks like a big dog got a hold of them. Yeah. Well, he only did one, which makes it worse because now I can't wear them. If they were both chewed up, I might be able to wear them and, laugh it off. But with one chewed, it just looks odd. All right. Anyway, this person that was burning this flag, apparently threw the burning flag onto the officer. So I think that is probably what they're talking about by minor injuries. I'm sure that they were burned. Unbelievable, though, that someone would do that. Okay, now. Okay, this says very interesting and important. So I'm sure you want to hear something that's very interesting and important. I can't remember what it is, though. Sorry. Because I had this ready to go last night, but... Okay, what is this? I remember seeing this, but hang on here. Okay, interesting post on 8, and they mean 8chan, thought I would share. Seems we have failed to put some of the pieces of the puzzle that we have been aware of together. I'm just going to post it, how it appeared, and then we will see what you think. It does all tie together nicely, even if it's a bit scattered. First, this anon has this to say. Pics related on the actual happenings, literally a timeline proving it happened. Live meteor plots something large falling into atmosphere shortly thereafter. Space debris reported off coast of Florida. U.S. Russia team up using Russia's... Are you chewing? You're thinking about it, aren't you? I can tell. You're thinking about it. Why don't you turn around and look at people? They're always wanting to see you. I don't know why. Okay. You behave yourself. All right. So U.S. Russia team up using Russia's new anti-satellite weapon to take out Israel's something energy weapons. What does DO stand for? Direct energy weapon satellite. So this person is claiming that a live meteor plots something large falling into the atmosphere, okay? And then shortly after, there's space debris reported off the coast of Florida. Then this person is saying that the U.S. Russia teamed up using Russia's new anti-satellite weapon to take out Israel's direct energy weapon satellite. It falls to Earth. All these happenings and you retards missed it. Well, I guess I'm one of those retards because I missed it. Don't chew, don't chew. Hey, no, sorry. I'm going to have to have a little intervention here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. No chewing. Come on, Sammy. You can be through one of those cords in like seconds flat. Like, no kidding. It's unbelievable. And now I've knocked this off kilter. Oh, it's a lot of work when you have a cat, let me tell you. Well, it's a lot of work when you have a cat like Sammy. Oh, it's good enough. All right, let's go back. I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah, he's getting much better, though. That's good. You just sit there and don't chew, okay? All right. So this person is saying that the US-Russia teamed up and that Russia has this new anti-satellite weapon and that Israel had a direct energy weapon. They are claiming as well that this is the direct energy weapon that was used on California. I don't know. Anyway, saying no. Do I have to get you a teething ring or something? I am so sorry. I apologize. Yes, it would be a lot more professional if I didn't have a cat in my face all the time. Okay, now, next day, Russia and China both get visa bans from Israel and China, who had also experienced weird explosions and is suddenly experiencing F5 tornadoes. And now, California is gonna blow. Clearly, there is one more thing yet to take out. Now, they were responding to this chain reaction incoming, and they're talking about the earthquake here that was at a naval base. Oh, come on. Come on. I don't want to have to record all this again. Okay. And I have my water bottle, but it's beyond my reach there. Okay. We're going to get through this. Gosh darn it, we are. Because there's good information here. And Sammy, you are not going to... And then the paw comes out. You think you're silly, don't you? You think you're funny. Okay. All right. Then they had this collection from their post. It appears it actually comes from 4chan. Okay, so use this link to enlarge. We're going to enlarge it and read it because I want you guys to see this. I don't want to leave any stone unturned. I wish you could see this. I really wish you could see this because you wouldn't believe it. I think I will try to do a better job writing this up. I was pretty blown away by the happenings yesterday, and to be honest, a bit excited. From what I could tell, the US, Russia, and perhaps others like China formed some kind of alliance to out Israel. They sussed out that Israel planned a false flag on a US sub by Russia to force a fight between them regarding Iran. The direct energy weapon, Israelis' satellite had been blowing shite up around the world. China, chemical plants, holy shite. There were some epic explosions, easy to write off as merely China being China. I saw some day video of the fires in Paradise where that ray, for lack of a better explanation, is visible. Not a chance, Sammy. No. Get down. I really am going to have to start locking him in a room. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I just don't want to have to record this again. So the Israelis, this person claims, I'm not claiming that, this person's claiming that the Israelis had been blowing stuff up around the world using this direct energy weapon. And, you know, this person is blaming the China chemical plants fires, which I'm sure most of us have seen, on this, and blaming the fires in Paradise on this as well. And it says that in Paradise, where that ray, for lack of a better explanation, is visible, and the very, very strange burn patterns. Also, I picked up a lot of rage, anger off Trump, he means from Trump, when he visited the site. And I did too. I picked that up as well. When Trump was touring that site, he was angry. You could see it in his face. So I had no idea at the time what it all meant, scrambled eggs, so to speak, but I made note. So I think US and Russia, maybe China, as they also got new visa blocked, cooked up a plan. US made it appear initially as if the false flag sub-attack was real. Then Russia stepped in and blew the crap out of that direct energy weapon satellite. I think somehow it got fired off at the last minute in the direction of the attack, which led to the damage on the Russian sub, but the satellite was taken out. Freedom. kikes have been controlling everything with threats from that direct energy weapon satellite. I don't like it when they use names like that. I really don't. Anyway, Russia developed a way to take it out. This is why the US government did not really protest the revelation of that particular weapon, but the Jew checkmark, okay, whatever. I really hate that language. US made a few grumbles, but the Israelis went wild. I think there were agent provocateurs stirring the protests to keep the Israelis busy. See, I tend to discount this when they use language like that because it's ignorant. It's, and I mean ignorant as in ignorant, not uninformed. They're just being ignorant. I think there were Freedom Day, 4th of July, Israel is at last, Iran chains cut. I knew internally yesterday that Russia and US are not going to war. Neither are going to attack Iran, but for some reason, every optic yesterday, and this is several days ago, right after the sub, made it seem imminent, and it did. Every source seemed to make the attack of Iran imminent. And I even worried, like, oh my gosh, we're going to go into Iran. Especially pushed by the Israelis. So let's go back here because there's more to get to. And I do want to cover this because it's possible. It's possible. I don't know. Now, let's go to the next one. Space debris, you say. Any chance it was remnant of that blown the F up Israeli DO satellite? Space debris burned up over Florida yesterday. Maybe the timing had to be impeccable to be sure it came down in water and in U.S. waters. I cannot quite suss out what the timing was based on, the Israeli false flag or this. From what I understand, the beams in the California fires were captured accidentally, meaning the person was not trying to and saw it later on the film. But what normal person would even understand what that was? I think viewers of the video were saying, what the actual frig was that beam, but got people on to discussing it. I saw it, made a note, and just waited. Unless there is by chance CCTV footage that is aimed in that direction, the chances of catching the beam on film post-explosions would be slim. China would have been outraged. Israel trying to force it. Why would Israel alert Iran that U.S. is going to attack? Right. Well, it technically would be space debris if, in fact, that was the Israeli weapon satellite. Calling it generic space debris keeps people happy. I am super bad at math, but wonder if there is correlation to the timing of everything. I try with numbers and my brain freezes, but it seems like an orderly progression of events. Satellite is blown, big shite noted coming into atmosphere, space debris lands in Florida. To explain me would be nearly impossible. I see shite. I rarely understand it at first, so I make a note. But I am also a very science-based, logic-based person. So if something does not make logical sense, see my post above about Trump being Israel's greatest friend, then I have to sideline it. To put it sensibly, I am able to combine my gift with logic and science. And let's go back here. So it says, they also added this as proof of falling debris. This from the, what is that? The National Weather Service. That's what it is. NWS. It wasn't clicking. Good morning and happy Wednesday. We've been receiving reports of some objects in the sky last night around South Florida, and at this time, we are unsure as to exactly what they were. We want to thank all of you for sending us your photos and videos. We appreciate it. So that is, in fact, proof that there was things falling. There was a big fireball and it burnt up when it came into the atmosphere. So, and he's saying it's space debris from the Russians blowing up the Israeli direct energy weapon. Could be. Another Anon had added this earlier. Plus, if you recall, I had posted about a huge mystery wind that hit the Earth the other night. They posted more, but this is just to give you the idea how the graphs were spiking hard. The entire world shook at 5 universal, it's universal time. And indeed, I'm not going to pull this all up, but indeed, I have looked at it. And it does look like the entire world shook at 5 universal time. Then we have the graphs from when the earthquake went off in California. If you weren't aware, one went off on the southwest coast of Canada last night. That's true. And 1645 initiation event across the U.S., and this is the seismograph. So lots of things all going on at once. We are about a half an hour away from POTUS speaking. Guess we will have an idea of things shortly, maybe. Let me know what you think about all this. So I don't know, but I think I would be remiss if I didn't bring this to you, because it is a explanation of sorts, because the earthquake doesn't make sense because it was at a naval base, and we've got the space debris coming down. We've got the Russian sub thing, and to tell you the truth, this does put all the pieces in place, but I don't know. You let me know what you guys think about this. And we're going to go back now. Yes, we are. And unfortunately, this person was saying, well, Trump's due to speak in a half an hour and maybe we'll know. Well, we don't know any more now than we did then. So, yeah, I'm going to skip over that. And this is fascinating, I think, because this is a propaganda film out of North Korea, and it shows that Trump's critics are wrong. But then we knew that, didn't we? Stunning North Korea propaganda film shows Trump's critics are wrong. The fantastic Trump haters in the media are once again proven wrong, as the North Korean media are stoking public expectations of a deal that will improve their lives. Far from a photo op that strengthened Kim and denigrates Trump and the USA, the regime's propaganda is stoking North Korean public expectations of a successful denuclearization deal. It also features President Trump as a wise and courageous leader. A remarkable 16-minute North Korean propaganda video has been subtitled and posted to YouTube, and the tone, narration, music, and cinematography all point to efforts to sell the public on a new era that is forthcoming. Yeah, nobody wants to just take Trump at his word, do they? Anyway, it goes without saying that not a word of propaganda would be issued without careful consideration of its political ramifications, so we take the narrator's words as reflecting exactly what Kim Jong-un and the Politburo of the party want the people of North Korea to hear and believe. The film is embedded below, but there are a few screen grabs showing the narration in subtitles at key points. I'm not going to show you the film because it's 16 minutes long. But this is one of the, let me make this a little bit bigger. It says, after the 1953 ceasefire agreement, it was the first time in 66 years that the leaders of the DPRK and the United States shook hands at the main building of Panmunjom, a symbol of division. An amazing historical handshake was exchanged. The significant scene, which is the first in the history of DPRK and U.S. relations, puts an end to the long past of hostility and mistrust and shows clearly the position and will of the two highest leaders of both countries to fully dedicate to the new era of peace. The end of the extreme enmity relationship between the DPRK and the U.S., which has lasted for generations and decades, brought about by the strong commitment of the highest leaders of the two countries, who will persistently open a new future with broad will to the wishes of the people of both countries and to meet the requirements of the time. This is pretty mind-blowing stuff, really, when you think about it. No other president could do it. You saw all of them, behind the, in the military zone or the demilitarized zone, the safe area between the two countries with their little, binoculars looking. They couldn't have achieved it. They didn't achieve it. So, but they all want to criticize Trump for achieving it, don't they? I mean, Trump deserves a Nobel Peace Prize for this. Although once Obama got it, it's kind of cheapened, because it's funny. I don't know what Obama ever did to bring peace. Nothing. All right, and there's this. Comrade, Supreme Leader, and President Trump will ease tensions on the Korean Peninsula and the unfortunate relationship between the DPRK and the U.S. and pave the way for a dramatic transformation. Now, this is coming from Kim Jong-un and his propaganda people. They're putting this out, and they're pretty much confirming everything Trump said. And the historic encounters and talks between the top leaders of the two countries at the Panmunjom building will end the extreme hostilities that have been deep-seated. As the film ends, the narrator expresses surprise at the trust that we did not expect, while Kim enters his limo that appears to be a Lincoln, not the Mercedes he formerly used, and drives away. And it says, it was an amazing event that created an unprecedented trust between the two countries that we did not expect. So this was not planned. And that's what Trump said. That's what Kim Jong-un is saying. It wasn't planned. Trump did this. And by so doing, he forged this union between the two countries and he accomplished peace. Now, yes, there's a lot of things that are going to have to be worked out, but I do believe there will be peace. And you can see, I mean, look at the expression on both of these men. Kim Jong-un looks absolutely delighted to have Trump there. Trump is very respectful, they're both respectful of one another. And I know a lot of people say, well, you shouldn't be respectful towards him. And well, obviously Trump knows what he's doing because he got it done and nobody else could. So why don't we just leave him alone and let him do his job? And I'm not saying that to you guys. I mean, I know that you're on board, but why don't the Democrats just leave him alone and let him do what he's going to do? It's worked. Everything he's tried has worked. Anyway, the film will make it harder for the North Koreans to stonewall now that they have raised expectations through the regime is certainly capable of reversing course and switching its propaganda line. Nonetheless, it suggests a sincere effort on Kim's part to achieve a deal that would accept security guarantees and a combination of aid and investment and the resulting prosperity in return for a timetable for a nuclear stand down. And I'll read this as well. Another key factor that rarely is given sufficient weight is the widespread availability of memory sticks containing video from North Korea and elsewhere. North Koreans understand as never before that they are poor while their relatives are rich. Even the most repressive police state in the world has to fear a citizenry that understands that it is an obstacle to their welfare. So this is really, unprecedented, completely unprecedented. So let's go back because there's always more. Excuse me. First the cat, now me coughing. Why do you guys put up with me? I don't know. All right. So, interesting. This is interesting as well. Excuse me. Yes, I'm breaking up with Diet Coke. I really am. So, it's in my future. My immediate future. Okay. All right. So, this is from Patriotic Night Owl. And it says Hillary Clinton's visit to Ireland ends in chaos as protesters screamed, "Go home." They held signs saying, "Lock her up," and made references to Haiti and Benghazi. Could this be why perhaps she is rethinking her commitment to speak at this seminar or whatever it is, conference. Maybe she's realizing, gee, I'm not so welcome anywhere. And let me see here. I can't remember what this is, but let me take a boo at it quickly. Dun, 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 dun. It's not responding. Well, well, well. And now I'm back to here. Okay, here we go. Yes, this is interesting. Court to unseal up to 2,000 pages of Jeffrey Epstein related documents. That is unbelievable, and it should make all of us very, very happy. I am really struggling with my voice right now. Someone doesn't want this information to get out there, I guess. A New York federal appeals court on Wednesday ordered the unsealing of up to 2,000 pages of judicial documents that are expected to show evidence relating to whether New York financier Jeffrey Epstein and his partner, Ghislaine Maxwell, were recruiting underage girls and young women as part of an international sex trafficking operation. Now, I am not going to go on because I know I'm just going to keep coughing and coughing, so I'm going to end it here. And if I can get my voice back, I'm going to come back and do another video. If not, then look for 2 tomorrow. But I'm really struggling with my voice right now and I'm losing it. So, I don't know. Very odd. Let me see if there's any pictures here that I can get to really quick. Oh, yes. They had to deflate the Trump baby blimp because of wind. Yeah, that's Providence, if you ask me. That's Providence, because they were planning on flying the baby blimp, you know, obviously just wanting to detract from whatever Trump is doing. And they had to deflate it because of the wind. Yeah, love when stuff like that happens. And there's this too that I can get to without talking too much. Look at this picture. This is John Kerry with Anton LaVey, the writer of the Satanic Bible. And this person, Mr. Z, anti-Masonic, said, "You had some very strange friends, Violator Kerry." And yes, he did. Fundraiser, strange bedfellows. Yeah. So they were raising funds together, him and the head of the Satanic Church, Anton LaVey. Now, of course, this was a while ago, but still. All right, and I think I'm going to leave this here because I am really struggling with my voice tonight, and I do have a lot more stuff, like tons and tons more stuff, but that's going to have to be it for tonight because I don't want to torture you with my voice. And, you know, I know from going to school and having to sit through lecture after lecture after lecture, when somebody's struggling with their voice, it's just not too much fun to listen to. So I'm going to leave it there. If I can get my voice back, I'll come back and do another video. If not, look for 2 tomorrow. All right. And you guys have a wonderful evening. Oh, I didn't even get into the, darn. There's so much I want to get into, but I'm going to have to leave it. All right. You guys have a great night. Stay safe. Stay well. Keep seeking truth. And I will see you tomorrow or later on tonight, but probably tomorrow. Good night.